Great. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom. So, back here at the homestead, and getting to work on framing in these garage walls here. But first, before I do that, number one, I need to kill a couple hours because Home Depot doesn't open until 8, and right now it's about 6 o'clock. But it would make it a ton easier to do this before I frame the walls, which is kind of trimming back this hillside here. Now, if you remember, last year, I believe it was, I posted a video of just kind of cleaning up around this crappy carport area, and showing you guys these beauties, the cordless hedge trimmers that I was not allowed to have as a child. And I remember just kind of thinking they were a lot of fun, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I never had these growing up. So now that I'm an adult and I get to make adult decisions, I bought a new toy because I'm an adult. I bought this. Now, it might not look like much, but this is actually my first chainsaw that I bought. I'm pretty blessed to be born into the family that I was born into, where my dad has pretty much every tool I could ever want, and he, you know, lets me borrow it, or if I'm trying to make money using it, he'll rent it to me. But I would like to eventually buy a big gas-powered chainsaw so that I could have it over at the property. But I saw this and I thought, well, I'll be darned. I'm an adult. That looks like it could be a lot of fun. So this is the cordless chainsaw from DeWalt. It has a 20-inch bar. I'm sorry, a 12-inch bar on it. So I think it'll be really good for cutting back brush like this, as well as throwing it onto my backpack whenever I'm hiking around over the property, doing trail maintenance on that. So I thought it was a really nice compact tool, one that I would be able to utilize. Now the question is it gonna actually work? So I'm not being paid at all. I didn't get those for free. I bought them. This is just my honest feedback and review on it. So in this video you are gonna see that, and with this video, hopefully framing in the walls. I'm not really sure how long this is going to take, so if I have to split it into multiple videos, you know, just bear with me. This is out of my realm of expertise. So we're going to go ahead, get all of our tools set up, and get trimming. Okay, now that I have a lot of this ground brush cleaned up, again, that was using my Black & Decker hedge trimmers. I'm gonna go ahead, get this little beauty fired up. There's a lock on that guard there. You have to push that back. And there's another lock button here. Let me go ahead and see how she runs. Enjoy. Oh, like butter. Okay, so with the help of my trusty 12-volt DeWalt chainsaw, went ahead and made easy work of all of this brush. I'm not overly concerned about this stuff because, yeah, probably in the next year or so it's going to start to grow this way. But for right now, this is going to give me a lot of working space for, you know, this wall here whenever I'm putting siding and stone up. That was my main concern, is I didn't want to be pushed up against the wall in a bunch of brush. Sorry, a little out of breath. That was a lot. It's kind of like excavating dirt. You look at it and you say, it's not really that much, and then you start getting into it and you're like, holy crap, this is more than I had thought. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and work on just getting this cleaned up and discarded. We got about another half hour before Home Depot opens, so I can go out there, get everything I need, make a quick stop at the shop, and then get going on framing the wall. Okay, so back from Home Depot. If you would notice, everything here is nice and clean. I got all that brush cleaned up, and then I picked up a cordless DeWalt leaf blower. Again, I'm not being paid by DeWalt. I just use all DeWalt tools, so all the new ones that I buy, I keep DeWalt. That way all my batteries are interchangeable. I don't have to buy Milwaukee batteries or, you know, whatever other kind of batteries. I keep everything DeWalt. So now that everything is nice and clean here, I can start running my sill plate. So I'm going to get my treated 2x6 lumber laid out, and get my stapler, get my sill seal foam, get that stapled, bend over these little anchoring straps that I have there, get those fastened, get this show on the road. Okay, so I have my womanized lumber laid out. This is going to be my bottom sill plate. That way any moisture or anything that might be lingering at the bottom of this, it's not going to affect this lumber. That's what that is for. I've bent over all my anchoring straps, so once I get these boards in place, I can bend them up, nail them in. I'm also going to use some Tapcons in this bottom sill plate just to make sure it is as secure as possible. Like I said, I do have this hillside right here. I don't really ever see this pushing or sliding or whatever, but you know, the extra 10 minutes it's going to take me to run some Tapcons down in, give me a little extra security, I'm fine with that. Before we anchor those down, this is our sill seal. Some people call it a mud seal, whatever you call it. This needs to go in between your bottom sill plate and your foundation, whether that's block or concrete. What this does is it's going to help fill up any voids there to help keep water as well as insects out. So yeah, I'm going to run down into my house real quick, get some fresh razor blades, and get this going. so now with the exception of this return back here by my walk-in door, all of my mud sill plates are put on with my sill seal. The next step is to start laying out lumber, lay out my 16 on centers, and start building some walls. Hooray. Like that. I actually forgot I need to bend all these tabs up and nail those in. So I'm going to do that real quick and get this sill plate anchored down. Okay, now the sill plates are nice and fastened. So basically what you do is you flatten out your strapping. You flatten it out this way. Once you have your sill plate anchored, like I said, I chose to go the extra step and put some Tapcons in it. Make sure these bottom plates weren't going anywhere. You bend them up, and then I missed one here, but pretty much everywhere there's a hole that isn't like right on the edge where it's going to blow through, you're technically supposed to have a nail in it. So like this one, if I tried to put a nail in it, it's probably going to blow through the top. So I need to get another one in here, and looks like another one in here. Other than that, they're all fastened. Time for lunch, and then time for walls. Okay, so I took 2 of my 16 non-treated 2x6s. This is going to be our second bottom plate as well as our first top plate, and this is going to be for this wall here. I pulled my measurement, hooked on at this end to the inside wall here. That way this wall will overlap this seam here on my bottom plate, and then it'll stop here. That way this wall will overlap this seam here. It'll make that corner nice and strong. Then what I'm gonna do is I have a pile of my pre-cut 2x6s. We're doing 9-foot walls here, so these are pre-cut to be 9 foot once you add on the top and the bottom plate. So with the little bit of room I have between the floor and the top of my cinder block, plus the double plate on the bottom and the double plate on the top, we should be just over, like, I think it'll end up being like 9'6" or something like that. Maybe I'll be able to put a golf simulator in here. I don't know, we'll find out. That's a little ways in advance. Anyways, we're gonna start with obviously we're gonna start with a stud at the end here, but then if you're unfamiliar with tape measures or anything of that sort, and you've never done any sort of framing work, just to kind of show you guys, when somebody frames a wall 16 on center, that means every 16 inches will be a center of a 2x4. And if you noticed, 16 is in red, 32 is in red, 48. These are all places to put your lumber, whether it's a 6, an 8, or a 2x4. That's where the center of your lumber should be. So in theory, what you need to do is come back to 15 1/4. Now you can mark both sides if you want. I'm going to, just to make sure I don't put the lumber on both sides or on the wrong side. You mark 15 1/4 and 16 3/4, and then you can take your speed square, hook her right on top, square it up. Oh man, this is tough to do with one hand, so I apologize about the angle there. And my mark is not on. Okay, so it's a little rough to do one hand, but you get the idea. You take your speed square, pull your boards tight together, make your mark, and then what I like to do is put an X. That way I know that's where the 2x4 goes. So that way the center of your 2x4, or in this case the 2x6, will always be 16 on center. So I'm gonna get the camera set back up and get going with this because it's hot and humid. And I'm in a tank top now and I'm still sweating, so I'd like to get this done. Okay, so I need 15 studs. I'm gonna make boxes for my corners to make sure they're nice and strong. So I'm gonna have one stud running like this, and then 2 more studs, one laying on the ground like that, and then one coming out like that. That's gonna make sure these corners are nice and strong. If that's overkill, if you're gonna say, hey, that's unnecessary, you don't need to do that, well, guess what? I'm gonna do it anyways because I like doing things overkill. Also, when you do your stud layout, you want to make sure you pre-sight them and make sure you have the crown of the board going the same way. You want the crown to come up, that way they're not rolling on you when you're trying to nail these together. Okay, so this back wall is all framed up. We have 16 on center studs. We have a nice big beefy box corner. Some people call this a California corner. Regardless what it is nice and beefy. It's gonna be real strong. Now if you notice, I chalked 2 lines. I went from the bottom plate up 4 feet and then 5 feet. That way I could get some blocking in here, and then I nailed them all together. It's gonna keep these studs nice and tight. It's not going to be as flimsy whenever we try to stand this up and move it into place. It's going to help keep everything nice and square, and then once we get it up into place, it's going to be we'll just have to kind of square it and tweak it from there. So I'm going to take some shade because this sun's brutal right now.
Why don't I go past, because you don't have enough room to clear that.
Okay. Okay, so my dad came down, helped me pick this wall up and put it into place. Yeah, so that went pretty good. Sorry, it's getting kind of late on this Sunday. Heat's still getting to me, trying to decide if I want to keep going. It is almost like 4 o'clock, so I think that's probably where I'm going to call it for today. So again, I'm not really sure how these videos are going to end up playing out. You know, if this works out and this is about, you know, 16 to 20 minutes is where I try to keep my videos, then it's a great endpoint. If not, we'll transition it into the next clip. So if it's not, then I want to say thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom. If you liked what you saw, please click the like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out our Instagram as well as our store on Etsy. Everybody that went over to our store and bought something from that trail cam video, if you missed that, here's a link. Please check it out. It is worth the 7 minutes that video. It's hilarious. Just check it out. But thank you guys for going over and supporting. Whether or not you bought anything, just the clicks alone get my store and my items higher up into that Etsy algorithm. If you did buy something, then thank you a million times over. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate everybody's support. So next time, so probably tomorrow after work, and then some more work, I'm gonna go ahead and get this next long wall framed up, stood up, get these 2 walls attached, and then I'll have this one plywooded before I stand it up. That way I don't have to really work around that hillside. We're gonna plywood this one after I get it attached, because right now it's just 2 2x4s holding it up, 2 2x4s and a bunch of nails on that bottom plate. So a strong gust of wind or something come, it might pull that down. So we're just gonna let that go for right now. So hopefully this rain holds off and I can get this next wall done tomorrow and just keep pushing forward with this garage. I love seeing this kind of progress. It's awesome coming home and just seeing, you know, something else done, and just kind of chipping away at it. So once again, thank you guys for the continued support, and I will see you next time. Have a great rest of your weekend.